Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today I'm going to teach you how to make Fasolakia Kota. That translates to string beans, also known as green beans, with chicken. It's a delicious Greek stew that you can serve all winter long because it's hearty, it's flavorful, and it's very nutritious, and it's super easy to make. Today I'm making my stew with a whole chicken that I've cut up into pieces. You can definitely do this with just drumsticks or bone-in chicken thighs. Either of those chicken cuts are going to be delicious, but you can also use lamb or beef to do this. If you are going to use lamb or beef, you're going to have to cook it a little longer before you add the string beans in, but we'll cover that later on. Let's go over the ingredients so we can start. We're going to need some olive oil, garlic cloves, salt, black pepper, crushed red pepper flakes, some paprika, this is sweet paprika, dried oregano, an onion. These are 2 cans of diced tomatoes that I've pureed. For the garnish, we're going to need some parsley and some feta cheese. This is a whole chicken that's about 3.5 pounds that I've cut up into large pieces. And of course, some string beans. We're going to snip the ends off in a little bit. All good recipes start with an onion. I'm going to finely chop this large onion here. Now I'm going to add the onions with some olive oil to my pot, and I'm going to let them cook over medium heat for about 8 to 10 minutes or until they're nice and soft and golden. Next, I'm just going to thinly slice the garlic. You don't have to finely chop it. All we need are some thin slices because they're going to basically soften and almost melt into the sauce. And if there are a few pieces left over later on, that's perfectly fine because while you're eating them, they're just going to melt and they're going to be very sweet and delicious. Next, we're just going to cut the ends off of the string beans. Once the onions are soft and golden, go ahead and add the garlic and cook it over medium-low heat for 3 to 5 minutes or until it's also nice and soft and golden. And you might have noticed that I did not brown the chicken in the beginning like I normally do with most of my stews. You could totally do that. It does deepen the flavor, especially when those brown bits are created at the bottom of the pan. I just wanted to skip that step this time. The recipe still comes out very flavorful and very delicious by adding the chicken in now after you soften the garlic, just so that way it's much easier to make on any busy weeknight or any time you want to put something together and just not put that much effort into it. So next I'm just going to add the chicken. A teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of sweet paprika. We're not going for a smoky flavor in this stew, so we're not doing smoked paprika. Sweet paprika is perfect. A pinch of crushed red pepper flakes if you like a little bit of heat. If not, you can just leave it out. Some freshly cracked black pepper, 1/4 teaspoon to 1/2 teaspoon is perfect. A teaspoon of dried oregano, and the pureed tomatoes. Mix everything up, bring the mixture to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, reduce the heat to a medium, cover the pot and let it cook for 40 minutes. Go in and stir it every now and then so the chicken does not burn. Once the 40 minutes are up, then we're going to go ahead and add the string beans, and we're going to season the string beans with a little bit of salt too. Go with about 1/2 teaspoon, and then later on, once they're cooked, you can adjust the seasoning if it's needed. We're going to cook the string beans for another 40 minutes, and we're going to keep the heat a little bit low. If it looks like it needs a little bit liquid, you could add 1/2 cup of water. Once the string beans are nice and tender, then your stew is going to be ready. The braised chicken and string beans is ready. It smells amazing in here. I do also want to say, if you want to make this meal even more economical and more hearty, right when you're putting in the string beans, you could also chop up some potatoes, put in some like big potato chunks in here and let them cook together. The string beans and the potatoes take exactly the same amount of time to cook. You'll have a lot more food for your money and it's going to be so good. String beans and potatoes is a classic Greek combination, and it goes well with chicken and beef and lamb, whatever you're using. Once the meal is done, go ahead and finally chop up some parsley. You can use dill instead. Sprinkle it on top and give it a nice mix, and then you can go ahead and serve it with some nice toasted bread to soak up that delicious sauce. If you want to keep it low carb, you could serve it with some cauliflower rice. I do love to sprinkle some feta cheese on top of this. I think it goes very well together. Time to go in and take a bite. For some people, mac and cheese is their go-to comfort food, but anything that takes me back to my childhood is my comfort food, and this does just that. I love the light tomato sauce that's full of flavor from the onion and the garlic. The string beans are perfectly cooked. The chicken is literally falling apart and moist and tender, and there's so much flavor in this. Head on over to the website, dimitrasdishes.com. Print the recipe, make this for your family tonight, and you can thank me later. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me today. I will see you all next time. Yes, sis.